Hello everyone to Meshery build and release call. We'll wait just for a few more minutes for other folks and then we'll start. Aditya, you can start the recording if you haven't already. Am I audible?
Yep, you are.
Okay. I think while other people join, we can. Hamza, can you show your update on your console end-to-end tests where you are? We can discuss about that.
Okay, just give me a minute. Let me plug my laptop.
You're pretty inaudible. Can you come again?
Let me plug my laptop. Running out of battery, then I can share everything.
Actually, your voice is coming way too deep for me to understand. Can you write that down in the chat? I heard that you don't have your laptop with you, I guess.
No, I
Is that
am
what you said?
plugging it in. I said I'm plugging it into power. Hello?
Yeah, I mean, we can hear you, but the voice is pretty inaudible. I mean, it has a lot of noise in it. So,
Okay, let me use it.
uh, can you write that down in the chat? Whatever you're saying. Do you want me to open your PR? Is that what you're saying?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now you're pretty audible.
Okay. So the resilience that I added for the console adapter managed to work, but for the sample app, it does not come up. I was thinking we should have divided this PR into two, like one for adding end-to-end tests for console mesh, then another PR for adding the
That's what.
sample app.
Yeah, that's what I had suggested as well. The last time we had the call, that's what I suggested that we should actually uh, we split this task into two tasks so that it's easier.
Yes, because right now the end-to-end tests for console work, but the ones for the sample app do not work. Like tests adapter for service mesh install parcel, but the one for you can go to pull request.
Yeah. I'm on your branch. Let me see what workflows. So you're saying that the logic that you added to add retries, that is that working correctly?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
So
working.
okay, so in this workflow, the results of which I'm seeing, you're basically calling to you're basically calling to the your own core workflow that you have modified, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So I
So
think I should make the PR to them for the core workflow. I should make
in,
the PR to Meshery
yeah.
Meshery
Yeah, you
gets
should do
merged
that, and
in.
then you should reference the Meshery workflow after doing that.
Yeah, then we can first merge the adding the end-to-end test for the adapter for the adapter installation. Then we shall have a PR for the
Yeah. So
sample app. But
yeah, in this particular PR, you can remove the sample app one and just leave the installation of control plane, and we'll get this one merged, and then we'll go ahead with the you can add more resources if you like. So right now we have just pods here. If you are sure that some services also come up, then you can add those as well here. Otherwise, we can start off with pod. That also works. And where is the okay? So this is the workflow that you're calling. Okay, in your, let me just look at the core workflow that you have here. I don't see this one here, so I guess it's in master branch, right?
Yeah, it's in master branch.
Okay. Actually, it should be. I'm looking at the wrong repository. It's in Meshery. In your Meshery, so in your Meshery's master, you have added that.
Yeah.
Usually, I would suggest that whenever you are playing around with these kind of things, you should create. You should add these things in another branch rather than your masters, so that your master is always in sync with
Yeah.
upstream master and you don't pollute it.
Yeah, I will refork it. I'll delete it and refork it again. Then I add the changes. Just a for loop plus some checking there.
Okay, so this is it, right?
Yeah.
And
Go
this is
to
working.
pattern apply. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it would be so first you can create one PR in Meshery. So let me write it down so that so and then you'll create another PR, basically split your current PR in two parts, right?
Yeah.
Adding control plane and then adding apps. So the existing PR that you have, I will refer this one as I'll refer this one as the one where you'll add control plane stuff, and for the apps you can create another PR.
Yeah. So by the way, I made a PR to remove KH version 1.2.call. It's even failing there, even in the control plane. The incompatible version.
Actually, I had
It's in
removed the
Meshery.
incompatible version.
You removed it.
Yeah, I already removed it. So did you create a PR in Meshery for this?
Yeah, so I can close that PR, I think. I had replaced
Yeah.
it with 1.2. Yeah.
Okay, so was this working fine for you?
Yeah, it's working. I replaced it with this V1.24.2.
So did 1.24.2 work fine? Because I thought that maybe the action that we are using, which uses minikube under hood, it might have some problems with 2.4 in general. So I just had removed the 2.4 altogether. So if you're sure that 2.4.2 works, then we can go ahead with this. So the is this the exact change that you had showed? Because I think this looks a little different to me. This one, this is not similar to what
Yeah,
I've seen in your master right now, right?
yeah, that's different.
Okay, and did you add this one yourself, or was this added accidentally?
I have no idea where that came from.
I think
I just
I think the changes here are kind of all over the place. So we can close this one, and this particular change that you have already in your master, which looks pretty stable to me, we can uh, move that into another PR. How does that sound?
yeah, I will create another branch and move that to the other branch. Then we fork the master and make the PR for
Yeah,
Meshery,
yeah.
then make a PR for the control plane.
So I'll just add a quick note here. And this will be a blocker for your console PR. So if you can add uh, this one uh, as quick as you can, it would be nice to have.
But I think let's leave out 1.24 dot and anything. Let's first work with the ones that are working.
So 1.24.2 was working.
I didn't really test it out.
Okay. So
Yep.
I think we can drop 2.4 for now. We can add that later when we are sure that, because yeah, we can just right now we can the 4 versions are good enough, I guess. 20, 21, 22, and 23. We can add 2.4 later, or
Yeah,
okay.
that sounds good. And for the sample app, my guess is maybe the pods are too many for the GitHub runner, or they are too heavy. The ones for HashiCorp.
Okay, so let me go to the error log. So the error that you were getting was that uh, so did the pattern file was applied successfully, or did you get any errors there?
The error when I go to, yeah.
Okay, so this is version rate. So for 24, this is okay. Let me look for some other version. So here the okay, so the pattern apply has failed. Yeah. So the pattern apply has failed because uh, okay, so are you sure that this workflow uses the resilient one, the for loop, the retry mechanism? Because here it says that invalid workload of type service.k8s, and that happens when it tries to apply this pattern file for the first time. So here, and I don't see it retrying here. So are you sure that when this one ran, it used the it used the correct core workflow?
I thought when I add it in the GitHub actions, like at the top, that uses it automatically it's propagated up to here, or it's only working for.
If you have added, okay, so inside of here you have added this, right? Yeah, this should
Yeah.
use the one in your master. But wait, let me go back the
Oh,
error log.
I need to make this same change down in the sample app, right?
Wait, what was your username? Was this? What was your username, Hamza?
Yeah.
What was your
Xander two
user?
Xander 256.
Okay, so let me look at the logic for once. Maybe there is some problem with the logic. And okay, let me here. Okay,
Oh yeah,
so
I've seen it is still using the
yeah,
Meshery.
older, yeah, still using the
Maybe if I
older
just
one.
it will work as well, and we don't need to split it.
What did you say if we rerun this workflow?
Yep.
What was the last thing that you said?
Maybe if I change that line of users to the resilient workflow in my fork, it will also work for the sample app.
Actually, this action ran for your branch in which you have referenced the resilient one. So it should have been running that one, but and it ran 1 hour ago, and the change that you had here was 1 hour ago. So, but this one this existed here before as well, right? This is not new here. I mean, this is older than 1 hour. This is older than a 1 hour change, right?
Yeah. But when you scroll down to the job that runs the sample app, it's still using the old workflow from Meshery, the old core workflow, the non-resilient one.
Yeah. So you know what? Let's make the change in the Meshery first, and then refer to that workflow, and then I guess it would you won't be getting these errors, and the sample apps would work just fine, just like the other stuff is working.
Okay. So I'm going to make that PR tonight. I think before I go to bed.
Okay. Have you been working on any other things except for this PR?
I first wanted to make this one work. Then for Linkerd, it will be easier instead of doing them both at once for the emoji photo and yeah.
I don't think you have a PR yet, right? On Linkerd.
No, but there is one in my branch, in my fork.
Okay, so right now we don't have sample apps, any sample apps, right? We only have the control plane right now, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So application what YAML were you using for this?
For Linkerd,
Yeah, for Linkerd.
I was using emoji photo.
Okay, so I think I don't know if you know about this, but we have this service mesh patterns repo. So when you are trying to deploy sample apps, I think you should look inside of this repo as well. Here inside of samples, you'd find applications, and inside of applications, you'll find emoji auto book info and all these other apps. And here you'd find both the things for it. So a while back we would had this discussion about whether to use a k8s manifest, how to convert a k8s into a pattern. So for some basic sample apps, I converted uh, this k8s into pattern for all these applications, and now we have it. So you can use this pattern.yaml. This also does the same thing, and this is like a centralized thing. So if we need to make any modifications, we can just make modifications to this pattern file instead of using the one that Linkerd provides. This is kind of like this pattern file is generated from their k8s manifest as well only, but we can enhance this as per our needs if something doesn't work. So I think you should while you work on the Linkerd sample apps, you can use this one, right?
Yeah, but these names look so, I don't know. They are not friendly. Two seed, what?
What did you say?
The names of the services. Two seed, two four, something.
Okay, this
I
thing.
don't.
Okay, yeah, this won't cause any issue. This is just a random UUID created. So whenever you see the service name as this thing, so okay, so we have a name here as well and a name here as well. If this thing has to be unique because services need to be uniquely identified. So this UUID is generated, and this is unique for all services. But if you don't have a name, if you don't pass a name like here, the name we explicitly pass is votebot. If you don't pass the name, it would take this thing as the name. The name would be inherited from here, but since we have the name here already, this thing would not be as a name of the service. This would be just a unique identifier for the service. And when you use mesh map to generate basically whenever you use mesh map or the designer that we have in Meshery. In both the cases, when you will use RJSF inside of Meshery UI to generate these forms, you'll get this thing only. I can let me show you a little quick. I don't know if people have played around with Meshery enough to generate these pattern files from their by importing their K8s manifest and all. But I'll just demo it really quick. And recently our support for applications has been enhanced. So earlier, you had to do all these things that I used to tell you, that go there and copy paste this and do all that stuff. But now you can just literally import the application and generate a pattern file for that, and the pattern file will have some weird those UUIDs, and that will work. That will not have any problem. That might look scary here, that what are these UUIDs, but I can guarantee that these things work.
So when I'm testing for the resources, I use the UUID or the name, because like for HashiCorps, there are some things that are named the same. You find a service is called product API and find it
Yeah,
deployment.ks
yeah.
and
You
product.
should use name, not the UUID. UUID is not because when you use the basically when we are making those assertions, we are using kubectl, right? And kubectl does not know doesn't know about these UUIDs. These are internal to Meshery. These names are used by basically these names are passed while creating the resources. So you would find a pod come a service account that comes up by the name web, but this UUID won't. You just don't think about these UUIDs. You can even change this UUID to something else, but it has to be a unique name, so that if so there are no conflicts. Like you cannot have two fields here with the same key, and because that's like an invalid YAML in itself, because these are just, if you think these are just key value pairs, you cannot have multiple keys with same name. So the best thing is to just use these UIDs instead of manually typing that thing. And the reason for having the name different and the UID different is so that UID can be used to uniquely identify those key value pairs, and the name is the user friendly name that you can use to make all those assertions. Okay, so I'll start one adapter as well to show you that. Let me start Linkerd adapter. Akhil, are you new on the call? I just saw your name popping up, or have you joined the previous call as well?
No, I'm new.
Okay, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I was just I just recently graduated from BSc Computer Science and looking for contributions and learning about cloud native space. And I know I had done some projects around Golang, and I'm looking forward. I previously joined a website of Meshery part meeting also, looking just observing things and learning.
Okay, so basically you primarily work on Golang, right? Not JavaScript.
I know JavaScript. I On a theory part. Basically, uh, I had seen done some front end work with it, React part, but not on a deep level. Also, not, my development is not. I'm not just kind of. It's not mature. Matlab, I didn't had done many things with certainly specific language. I know Java also. I done my basic class 12 with Java, and I know basic around it, but only core, not around development, not Spring Boot type. I know
Okay,
multiple languages, but not at that level.
okay. So so how long have you been making projects and all in Golang? So like so that I can know about your comfort level, handing
Yeah,
over issues to you.
I can understand the code. I can read the code, and mostly I made a HTTP server with it. Or
Okay.
okay.
Okay, so did you go through Meshy source code? So did you try to like understand something around Meshy server and Meshy adapter? So like we have most of our projects are in Golang. So did you try to play around with those? Or like the first question should be, did you run those locally on your machine? Have you able to successfully set up those things?
No, not currently. I just taken up a issue that the the product of mesh map of Docker extension is was not directly able to access. People are not able to directly access from the website. So I was looking out that, but I will look. I will download on it. I will make it locally. Try to make it locally. I
Okay.
didn't.
Okay. So if you run into any problems, just know that you can ask anyone on a public channel. Try to ask it on a public channel so that other people can also benefit from it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, Hamza, as I was showing that, have you seen this new UI of applications?
Mm, yeah, I tried it, but then I had my computer was a bit weak, so it could not. It would freeze somewhere. But I got another machine. I'm going to give it a try again.
Yeah, so like this is the Gates manifest. Okay, so I just copy paste the link, and in applications now we support three things. We support a Helm charts, we support Docker Compose and Kubernetes manifest. So because this is a URL for a Kubernetes manifest, I'll import it. And what it does is that now we use so if you click on this, you would not find a Kubernetes manifest. See, this is now auto converted, and those UUIDs are automatically attached to it. So all those things that you would have had to do converting a K8s manifest, these things are already done now. And if you want to download your original K8s manifest that you used to create this one, you can download it from here. This is a download button. I won't download it because I don't need to. But yeah, so I can use this. I can deploy this thing directly now. Have you tried deploying things from UI like this?
No, like my computer would feel that import our application. I haven't given it a try with the new machine, but I'm going to. Seemed it
Okay.
was a heavy operation.
Okay. I get it. So yeah, these are the this is the thing that I just deployed here. I think if I have built mesh map, if my mesh map is running, let me see. Is the visualizer running? I guess yeah, I haven't built my mesh map locally. That's why. Otherwise, you would be able to see your the thing that I just deployed. You'd be able to see it here. Yeah, you can use a designer to do the same thing. So as I was saying, like I have my Linkerd adapter on. So uh, you can Hamza, have you played around with mesh map yet? I don't think you would have had played around with mesh map, right?
Not yet,
Yeah.
but I want to.
Yeah, basically what I'm saying is that try to use these here we have these forms, and also like you can use okay, this is a UI bug. I had reported it anyways. So like you can uh, basically like for instance, I can name it Linkerd something, and this is equivalent to adding a service known as Linkerd mesh in your pattern file, and you can add application like this and basically fill those forms instead of writing YAMLs, and this will also generate a pattern file for you. And these you can see those pattern files here in designs. You can go back to any design and click on that, and this is the design that I just created. So yeah, try to play around with mesh map as well. It would kind of give you more confidence as to working with pattern files and design, so that when you are working with end-to-end workflows, you are like more comfortable with that. You don't look at that UID and get taken aback. Like, what if it doesn't work? It will work. Like I just deployed this thing and it worked. And in our case, like I deployed this thing as a service account, right? I just deployed. So let me see if that service account came up. This is the default service account in the namespace emoji photo. You see these three service accounts that I just deployed, they also came up. So I just use the same, and this is the same pattern file that I was showing you we have in the service mesh patterns repo. So yeah, everything will come up. Again, given that the Kubernetes components have been registered, and as I told you, that will happen after you add that resiliency in the Meshery core workflow. And I would even suggest you to enhance. So if you'll go back to this emoji photo YAML file, it doesn't have any Linkerd specific stuff in it. So it just has an application. So what you can do is that like it can be an afterthought after you do the basic application. What you can do is that instead you can go to Linkerd. Like this will be a learning opportunity for you as well. While you're exploring Linkerd, you can go to their documentation, and you can look at what like they have their own resources, custom resources, and you can try to find the YAMLs for their own custom resources, and then deploy them as well. So most probably those custom resources would be available in Kubernetes manifest format, and as I told you, you would be able to import that thing here, and you'd be easily able to create, or instead of that, I'll show you how you can, instead of going into mesh map, even you can click on create design, and like you can click on Linkerd. Now let's see what Linkerd mesh. I can toggle this on and off. So these are the add-ons that are available in Linkerd, and yeah, so you can basically use this form structure to have this thing, this this parent file created for you by default, uh, automatically. So like if you want to add it pod or deployment, you can add it from here. And as add, let's say that I want to add something like, we need a search feature actually here. That's a open thing, so that we can easily move between different like if I add service account here, you can see this thing gets updated here automatically. So you don't have to fill the you don't have to write out the YAML. You can just look for the fields that you want to fill on the left side, and those would be filled. And this is the same RGS form is given to you in the mesh map as well. So when you're playing around, you can find a Linkerd component here, and then try to actually here I am missing few components actually. Maybe this is a bug, I guess, because if I open, uh, you would be able to see that I see a lot more resources than just there are a lot of resources here. And if I go inside of Linkerd home workloads, if I go in any of these versions, I don't see all of these versions here. So I think there's a, so yeah, as you can see, authorization policy, mesh TLS authentication, network authentication, I don't see these things here. So yeah, I just, while showing the people this, I think I might have got a bug as well. If I look at authorization policy.linkerd, I should be able to see a component there. Let me, yeah, there is a component here, but I do not see that thing reflected over on the, as you can see that we have an authorization policy in our database, but if I go over to create a designer, I click on Linkerd, I do not see, I only see Linkerd mesh and configure add-ons. I don't see the other stuff. Let me see if I do see those things in mesh map. Okay, I see those things in mesh map, as you can see here, authorization policy. And okay, so I guess the logic was changed, and yeah. So I think there was a recent change in the way we do things. We detect these resources, and this might have changed in mesh map, but they forgot to change it here. So Akhil, will you create a issue for this thing, and in Meshery repository?
Yeah, okay.
I'll, while you create an issue, I'll just brief you again what the issue is so that you can type it out. So like if I, let me try it with another adapter just to make sure that this is a bug.
So I have to make a even Meshery, not Meshery.io. No?
Yeah. Meshery/Meshery. You'll have to create an
Okay.
issue. Yeah.
Okay.
Just wait one more minute. I'll check with the another adapter as well, so that I'm pretty sure that this is a bug and not something related, something specific to the Linkerd adapter. So if I click on Istio, okay, so I see the Istio components here. Okay. So this is not a bug in Meshery. This might just be a bug in, or wait a second, for other versions. Okay, if I'm not getting the components for any of the previous versions as well. Yeah, so I guess this would be an issue in the Linkerd adapter that you'll have to make, but it's a weird thing. Right. Okay, so for stable 2.1, I should be seeing a component for this version. Two point 12. I don't even see that version here. Okay, so for some versions it's there, for some versions it isn't there. Okay, so can you create a issue in the Meshery hyphen linkerd adapter, Meshery slash Meshery hyphen linkerd? There you can create the issue that and inside of issue just describe that for few versions, missing components for few versions, just name it that, and inside of description just say that for few of for few versions, the only the linkerd mesh and configure add-ons component is there, the other components are missing.
In a design pattern, the some versions of linkerd are missing.
Some components for some components for some versions are components in some versions are missing. Just call it that. Components in some versions are missing.
Okay.
Okay, I think I should move on now. Mario is here. Mario, do you have any update regarding anything?
Hi, hello. Yeah, sorry for joining late. Not for now. I was looking at some mesh map test, but still need to reach out to Avi about that, Abhishek. But yeah, besides that, I wanted to go like, who's this person? Let me look for person's name. So Rohit asked me about like some issue he could pick up with Rohit Raju. Not sure if he's in the call right now. I don't think so. Yep. Nope. But yeah, so I'll look for some issue that so he can jump into Cypress
Okay.
testing.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not sure if there's any good candidates, but I guess I'll look around and reach out to him to get that set up for him.
Okay, that sounds good. Nice. By the way, Hamza, I have one more task for you. After you're done with your, or you can do this one parallelly. So I'm seeing a lot of red marks here. So these red marks basically mean that these tests are failing. So would you be kind enough to go and check what might be happening here? So is this the reason the Kubernetes versions might be a reason for it? There might be some other reason. So I'll check in Istio and OSM and traffic mesh. You can check in Cilium. You can pick 2-3 adapters. Like in Cilium and OSM, you can check, and in Istio and traffic mesh, I'll check. I think on these four adapters, I see these failing tests. So would you check why these tests are failing in Cilium and OSM?
Sure. I will check it out.
Okay. If you find any issue that maybe some issue with the patent file or something else, just create a PR or just brief that what might be causing the issue, and I'll check in Istio and traffic. There might be a few changes that happened recently that might have triggered this thing.
Okay.
Anyways.
I'll give it. Okay.
Yeah. So I talked about the failing test, and the resiliency in the core workflow would be added by Hamza. Can I expect a PR today, Hamza?
Yeah, I'm going to work on it before I go to bed.
Okay. So I guess okay. So I'll expect a PR on this, and once we merge this, then I think we are almost inches away from merging your console one. That is a long-standing one. So now the tests are also passing. So let's get that one merged as well. And okay, so this I'll briefly talk about this change in Chris's PR. So this was a kind of a huge PR because we have recently changed the structure of our entire directory structure basically. So inside of these CMD handlers, all these directories that you're seeing right now here were inside of the root directory, and that might cause some build failures, or might have caused some build that might have had caused some build failures and all. But most of the things are mitigated, and we have we have gotten around of this, so that the reason for restructuring the directory structure, so that you can have like Meshery CTL and server and UI, everything looks pretty clean here. So the new contributors can be sure know where to look for. So these are docs, this is stuff related to Meshery CTL. Then the install has your make files and Docker files and Helm charts and everything, and the provider UI has your basically JavaScript for your provider UI. The UI that pops up uh, when I this is the provider UI basically. So this the code for this UI is here, and the code for the rest of the UI is in UI, and all the code for the server is in server. So before this, the directories inside of server were actually kind of all over the place. And thanks to Chris for that. And this was kind of a big change. So as you can see, this is merged now, and this had 205 files changed, so pretty scary stuff. But this is finally merged, and most of the and there were a few errors popping here and there, but mostly I've taken care of them in other repositories as well. So and this one is a closed task now. And and yes, Serene has been working on Helm chart consolidation. So anyone who's interested in Helm charts, and we have the current Helm charts are pretty unreliable, the ones we have right now, and she's working to centralize those Helm charts into a single Helm chart. And so we want a Helm chart for Meshery operator, and we want a Helm chart for Meshery server. And the Meshery operator Helm chart should be a dependency on Meshery server, so that when we install Meshery server through a Helm chart, we can optionally either enable the operator or disable. And we should also be able to independently just use the Meshery operator Helm chart. And right now, we have a Meshery Helm chart and Meshery operator Helm chart, and there are duplications in both of those, and things are pretty, not. And we get bugs here and there. So her effort is being in that direction. She has run into some issues that she wanted to discuss, but since she's not on the call, we won't be able to discuss these. And most probably before the next call, this would be must as well. Subedi also wasn't able to come, and his changes are the components that I showed you, that we were just discussing, the linkerd components that I said, like authorization policy and all. He was working to show it on the Meshery docs actually. Uh, so he was working to show it here. So here we already have a um, basically we have a compatibility matrix, and similar to the compatibility matrix, he was working to show we have a table here to show all the components. I think his PR is still not in yet, so I wouldn't be able to show that. um, I think by next time, most probably it would be done. So yeah, I think we can end the call now. Thank you for everyone for coming, and see you in the next call. Bye.
Bye. Good night, everyone. Good morning. Good evening.
Yeah.